Now there's word from the Trump administration that American companies cannot sell software to a particular Chinese company as a matter of national security. I say good, because, you know, there's a component to this tariff war that's going on right now that is related to national security. And I think this is uncharted territory what the president is doing here. And if he comes out a winner on this, boy, it's going to be amazing.
I don't think this is uncharted territory. What the president's doing is playing defense. But everybody knows that the best defense is a good offense. All that the president's doing here is restricting who U.S. businesses can make money from. And this recent holdback from being able to sell software to the manufacturers in China isn't about them selling it to North Korea, which is what the ZTE restriction was about. This one is about the trade war, and that's not something that we should be doing. Again, we're just playing defense. In China, to make an obscure reference here, if anybody knows the movie Gattaca, they're willing to take this further than anybody because they're willing to take their people down as far as they can. So they're willing to go out further than the U.S. is going to be willing to go out. So China has the advantage in this because they're willing to put their people at a greater risk than U.S. citizens. Again, I think that Trump is making the wrong move on this, but he also proposed socialist price controls on medicine last week. So I think this is par for the course right now that he's going into the elections making these statements. I'm
sorry to beg to differ with you, Charlie, but there is a national security component here. When you have a country like China that is systemically stealing our intellectual property, the president is using these tariffs as not only just an economic weapon, but a geopolitical weapon. And I think it's the right move to do. And if we bring, I don't agree with you either that China's in the driver's seat on this one. Not at all. I think that they inflate their numbers. We don't know that these numbers are accurate. They could be far worse than they're saying right now. I think that the United States is in the driver's seat. I don't want to see President Trump use all the cards, you know, possibly slap some more tariffs on if we need to. But what we're hearing internally is that President Xi has been beat up pretty bad by the Communist Party because they don't like what he's doing. They don't like him stealing intellectual property. They don't like him manipulating the currency, and they want him to stop.
Well, the fact that we believe that they're stealing intellectual property really doesn't mean anything because the businesses that are making the deal with the Chinese manufacturers, they don't want their information stolen. But at the same time, they're the ones making these decisions. So if you decide that you want this trade deal, somehow that means you have more information than the company making it. But I understand why we would think this. But President Trump doing it is kind of even worse because this is the president of the United States deciding that he knows better than what a private company can do. And to me, that is the way that a socialist government works. That's not the way that President Trump has run his government. We have great tax reform. We have great regulation restraint. And we are moving in the right direction. So these last couple anomalies have just thrown a curveball at me that is really hard to understand.
I don't know. To me, this is the Donald Trump art of the trade deal with a national security component. It's not like he's dealing with Europe. It's not like he's dealing with Canada or Mexico. This is the enemy over here. And I think what he's doing, if it turns out the way I think it's going to turn out, I think he's going to go down in history as a brilliant move.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.